You missed that promotion you deserved, convinced everyone secretly hates your outfit, and keep buying things you don't need. Is it bad luck, or is something more sinister at play? The truth is, your mind is full of hidden traps designed to take shortcuts. And sometimes those shortcuts lead you astray. They cloud your judgment, fuel your anxieties, and make you a sitting duck for bad decisions. These traps are known as cognitive biases, and they can steer you in directions you never intended to go. Today, we're going to uncover the mystery behind 10 of the most intriguing cognitive biases. Once you recognize these mental traps, you'll never look at your thoughts the same way again. Number 10. Confirmation bias. Imagine you firmly believe that drinking coffee boosts your productivity. You search online and, unsurprisingly, find loads of articles that agree with you. But what about the studies that suggest otherwise? Your brain tends to ignore them. This is confirmation bias, where we favor information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. It's like wearing rose-colored glasses that only let in agreeable facts. To combat this, challenge yourself to look for information that opposes your views. It might be uncomfortable, but it's crucial for a well-rounded understanding. Number 9. Availability heuristic. The availability heuristic is a cognitive shortcut where we make decisions based on the most immediate examples that come to mind. For instance, if news reports frequently cover plane crashes, we might overestimate the danger of flying, even though statistics show it's safer than driving. This bias occurs because dramatic, recent, or emotionally charged events are more memorable, leading to skewed perceptions and potentially poor decision-making. Essentially, the easier it is to recall something, the more likely we are to think it's common or likely to happen. Number 8. Spotlight effect. Have you ever walked into a room feeling late and thinking everyone is staring at you? Or maybe you spilled something on your shirt and felt like everyone noticed. Relax. This is the spotlight effect. We often overestimate how much others notice our flaws or mistakes. In reality, most people are too focused on their own lives to pay much attention to ours. Next time you feel self-conscious, remember the spotlight isn't as bright as you think. Number 7. The halo effect. First impressions are incredibly powerful. Meet John. He's impeccably dressed, confident, and well-spoken. You might automatically assume he's also intelligent, kind, and competent. This is the halo effect, where one positive trait influences our perception of a person's other traits. But beware, the reverse can happen too. A single negative trait can cloud our judgment of a person's other qualities. To see people more accurately, focus on each trait independently rather than letting one dominate your perception. Number 6. Gambler's fallacy. Imagine flipping a coin and getting heads 5 times in a row. You might think tails is due next. This is the gambler's fallacy, the mistaken belief that past events influence future outcomes in random sequences. Casinos profit from this bias as gamblers believe they can predict the next roll or spin. The reality? Each flip or spin is an independent event with no memory of what came before. Keep this in mind when you're faced with a series of random outcomes. Number 5. Cognitive dissonance. You've bought an expensive new gadget, but it turns out to be disappointing. Instead of admitting it was a bad purchase, you convince yourself it's not that bad after all. These mental gymnastics is known as cognitive dissonance. When our actions and beliefs clash, we experience discomfort. To ease this discomfort, we adjust our beliefs to align with our actions. Recognizing this bias can help us make more honest assessments and better decisions. Embrace the discomfort and confront the truth. It's a path to growth. Number 4. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, also known as frequency illusion, happens when something you recently noticed, experienced, or learned suddenly seems to appear everywhere. For instance, you buy a new car, and suddenly it feels like everyone else has the same model. It's not that these cars just appeared out of nowhere, rather, your heightened awareness makes you notice them more frequently. This occurs because our brains are wired to recognize patterns and give more attention to new or relevant information. The increased frequency in your perception is a result of selective attention and confirmation bias, as your mind starts to filter and highlight specific details that align with your recent experience. Number 3. Zeigarnik effect. Ever had an incomplete task that keeps popping into your mind? That's the Zeigarnik effect, where unfinished tasks linger in our memory more than completed ones. This can be a productivity killer, especially when you're trying to focus on new tasks. The good news: simply writing down a plan to complete the task can help clear your mind. So next time your thoughts are cluttered with unfinished business, grab a pen and paper. It's a simple trick for a clearer, more focused mind. Number 2, paradox of choice. Imagine walking into a supermarket with 24 different types of jam. It sounds great, but most people find it overwhelming. In fact, when the options were reduced to just 6, sales soared. This is the paradox of choice. More options can lead to decision paralysis and less satisfaction with the choices we make. In a world full of endless options, sometimes less is more. Try narrowing down your choices to make better, more satisfying decisions. Number 1, the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy occurs when we continue investing time, money, or effort into something simply because we've already invested so much, even if it's no longer beneficial. For instance, imagine you've spent a lot of money repairing an old car. Despite continuous problems, you keep pouring money into it because you've already invested so much. This irrational behavior stems from a desire to not waste previous investments, even when buying a new car would be the smarter choice. Recognizing this trap allows us to make more rational decisions by focusing on future benefits rather than past losses. And there you have it, 10 intriguing cognitive biases that sneak into our minds and shape our decisions every day. Understanding these biases is the first step to overcoming them and thinking more clearly. Remember, your brain is a powerful tool, but it's not perfect. By understanding these mind traps, you can make smarter decisions and avoid unnecessary stress. So next time you catch yourself falling into one of these mind traps, pause, reflect, and take control of your thinking.